Hey, what's going on YouTube? Khallid AKA Smoove Flipper. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to go over the best phones to flip in 2018. It is now September 6, 2018. I figured it'd be a good time to make this video due to the fact that we're almost finished for 2018. About to be hit with a lot of new phones. The new iPhones have been, released. As far as what phones are being released, they're not in stores yet, but we all know what phones are being released. So that'll be a big thing for us phone flippers. So I figured it'd be a good time right now to give you guys my experience on the top 5 best phones to flip for profit in 2018. If you do enjoy this video, please do me a favor and like the video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If your phone is not on the list that I want to give you guys right now, then comment that down below. So for the lineup, we have 4 iPhones and 1 Galaxy. So, from the title of this video, you guys probably already knew that iPhone was going to be on the list for sure. Couple models as well. So iPhones being the best phones to flip in my opinion. They go fast, they go for high prices. So I'm gonna give you guys the phones and kind of give you guys an explanation as to why I picked this phone. So we're gonna start from number 5, being the least profitable for the year, to number 1, which is the most profitable for the year. So let's get into it. So number 5, we got the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. This phone has done me well this year. I flipped a lot of these. I flipped a lot of bad IMEI devices. Sprint, T-Mobile, cracked. A lot of cracked ones did well for me. And for some reason, I used to get these. Well, I still get them, but for this year got these phones for cheap. I remember getting bad IMEI S8 Pluses for $100, 130. Very cheap prices, and just flipping them on eBay for quick, easy profit. And these phones, these new phones nowadays, they're easy to drop. People drop these. They spend $1,000 on a phone and then they don't put a case on it and they crack them. And once they cracked, they're worthless for some people. So I use that as my advantage. These are very expensive to fix when they are cracked, but I still sold them very well. Also noticed that people don't value these ones, the S8 Plus, as much as they do the Note 8. I feel like they're pretty much the same phone as far as just the build and all that, but they don't value this phone as much. I was getting these for cheap. Actually, I got this one for this is an AT&T one. I bought this one for $170 just recently, so that's still cheap. I can sell it for $330, $340 on Mercari or eBay, and this is why I picked number 5, just because it's a phone that I was getting for cheap. I was getting a lot of them at one point where, the month I was just getting a bunch of them. And then also, those who were selling them to me just didn't value them as much as they did the Note 8 or the S8, which was kind of weird. But a lot of these phones were being traded in. A lot of these phones were not being paid off, and they were just selling to me. So this one was number 5. Has done me well, and I cannot wait for the newer releases for Samsung devices. Hopefully they'll be on the list for next year. So that's the S8 Plus. Number 4, we got iPhone 8 Plus. Now this phone this year, I didn't start out buying these that much. When they first released, I was having a hard time picking these up. I don't know for what reason. I think this is the best iPhone that has been released ever. I'm not an iPhone fan at all when it comes to personal use, but this phone, in my opinion, was a good phone for me to flip. Just because, I was picking them up a lot when the X released, and that was just because people, they just want the newest thing, the best newest thing. In my opinion, this is the best phone that's been released. This one and the 7 Plus, as far as the iPhone lineup, and people were just going for the iPhone X, and it was crazy because these phones were just released, and then I mean obviously Apple puts out a new device every like 6 months, so This red one, I haven't bought a lot of these when they released. You know, it more so was the rose gold. Rose gold was probably the most I bought, but these ones, you know, for some reason, again, just like the S8 Plus, I was getting them for cheap. And, you know, people get a phone, they can't pay it off. And, you know, for some reason, the 8 Plus, I was lowballing like crazy for these devices. I was getting these at 200 pop bad IMEI, 150 for cracked, and just flipping them on eBay or to my buyer, just like that. You know, I had a couple months where I was getting a lot of brand new ones. I believe one of these carriers were doing the buy one get one free, and people were selling me their brand new 8 Pluses. So I was getting these a lot, you know, towards, you know, I'd say May, June month. Those 2 months I was doing a lot of volume with the 8 Plus. Again, I don't buy as much of the red models, but the rose gold was doing well for me. These just started, you know, picking up for me as well, just because everybody's being, you know, they're getting prepared for this new iPhone to be released, or they just move up to the X because it's a lot cheaper now to buy used, and they just sell these. But there was really nothing, you know, crazy that stood out to me as far as why I was getting them for so cheap, or just getting a lot of them. You know, only thing I can really think of is the new iPhone X release that did it, because people, again, are always, you know, looking for the next best thing. But in my opinion, this was the best one. So I actually got this 8 Plus Sprint rose gold product red version. I believe I picked this up for $260. It's a Sprint baddie. It's saying, you know, I'm gonna sell it to my private buyer. But anyway, picking these phones up for cheap. So here goes the 8 Plus for number 4 spot. This number 3 spot is going to shock a lot of you guys, and I'm gonna give you guys some good reasons as to why this is number 3, and that is the iPhone 6. Now, this phone is old when it comes to the iPhone lineup. As of right now, it is a ton of generations back. But what thing I noticed about this phone is, you know, a lot of people still go back to this phone. A lot of people still like this phone. This was, in my opinion, when Apple made that big jump, you know, from the 5S to the 6. And this phone, again, I still see a lot of people with this phone. And what I noticed a lot was people were messaging me, you know, asking me, hey, do I have any, you know, iPhones for under $200? They kept asking me that. I didn't at the time, because I was at one point wasn't buying the 6. You know, in the beginning of this year, I stopped buying the 6, you know, for a while, and then started to realize that I'm getting so many messages from people who want iPhones, because, you know, everybody wants an iPhone, but they didn't have the funds for, you know, the newer model, like the X and the 8 Plus. So they would come to me asking, hey, I'm looking for an iPhone unlocked, you know, whatever storage, just need one under $200. So I figured out, you know, let me find, you know, go through one of these wholesalers that I deal with occasionally, ask them what they have in stock for iPhone 6 unlocked, and I bought a ton of them. I bought, you know, I don't know how many over this year, but I bought a lot of them, and they were you know, basically used to satisfy the needs of those who messaged me. You know, it came to a point where I was going back and following up with these people saying, hey, I got an iPhone 6. Are you interested in buying it? They say, yeah, we meet up, and it's easy. And I was selling these, the iPhone 6 64 gigs in my area were going for like 160, 170. All depends on what you added to it. You know, for the most part, I just had the phone. Was buying them for like 110 a unit, and selling them for 160, $50 profit each unit. They were doing well. They still do well. I haven't came across one in a while. I have not bought them in bulk, you know, in a while, just because I've been, you know, swamped with the phones that I'm going to tell you guys in the next listings. But this is a good phone to keep flipping. If you're a beginner, if you are, you know, just getting out, do not sleep on the iPhone 6. You know, the 6 model in general. The 6 models in general, the 6 Plus, 6S, 6S Plus, those are all good models to flip. just because not everybody has, you know, $400 or $500 to cash out on a phone. And, you know, in all reality, these iPhones all do the same thing. So they want a phone that they can, you know, spend less than $200 on and still get that same iPhone feel, that iOS feel and all that just from the phone. So if you guys aren't flipping these iPhone 6s, then do so. You know, test them out in your area. If they do well, then you know that you can buy these in bulk and tear it up in your area. So number 3, iPhone 6. This next phone, number 2, we got an iPhone 7 Plus. This phone has done me so well this year, you know, and I think the main reason is these new phones are being released so fast, and people are trying to keep up with it, that it's hard for them, and they're just jumping from phone to phone. But these 7 Plus, I don't know what it is, but I've been getting these phones for cheap. 2018, I've been getting these phones for dirt cheap. I think this one is a 7 Plus 128 gigabyte. I believe I got it for $240, if I'm not mistaken. $240, 128 gig. You know, but just for this year, I've just been picking up these phones for cheap. A lot of them, I've been picking them up cracked. You know, cracked, bad IMEI. Those do so well for me on eBay. You know, just the fact that these, I don't know, these phones are just, everybody gets these phones, but then they, again, try to upgrade each time to get the newer phone, and they don't realize these phones are still going well. I can sell these phones in my area, you know, from 360 to 460, you know, based off of gigabyte storage. But, you know, I'm picking these phones up for less than $300 each time. The ones that are unlocked, you know, bad IMEI, I can pick them up for $100. Bad IMEI cracked, $100, $80. But I was getting a lot of these, and I still am getting a lot of these. But in the beginning of the year, I picked up a ton, and just flipped them. A lot of them were flipped on eBay. eBay and Swapper were my go-to. I get these a lot in Sprint. So a lot of these were Sprint models that I was getting. You know, again, people just buy the phones, they can't pay it off, or they move to a different carrier and they say whatever for this line, they don't even pay it off, and you know, it's bad IMEI. But the good thing about it, these phones were holding their value pretty good, you know, and they're still doing strong, as going strong as far as holding their value. You know, again, I can still sell them between 360 to 460 in my area. Even online, as far as eBay and Swap, I can still sell them for a good amount and get some good nice profit for it. But the 7 Plus, number 2 on the spot, you know, I got a lot of them, but at the same time, it slowed down a little bit and then picked back up, and it's, you know, it's still kind of a roller coaster right now as far as my pickups for the 7 Plus. But I'm still selling these pretty well, or you know, pretty good as far as cracked, bad IMEI. Those do the best for me for this phone. So 7 Plus is number 2. If you're not selling these, go ahead and do that. Buy these, sell them in your area. I feel like local would do well for unlocked models, unlocked with no cracks or anything. Those do well for your local. So number 2, iPhone 7 Plus. Now, number 1, you guys, I'm not going to show you guys right now. I'm going to give you guys time to guess. So if pause the video if you are going to guess, and put it down in the comments. I'm pretty sure you guys already know which phone this one is. And so yeah, I'm going to give you guys time right now. And number 1 for the best phone to flip in 2018 is the iPhone X. The iPhone X. This phone, I swear, guys, I've sold so many of these phones. I have right now. I'm looking at my inventory right now. I have 12 of these left to sell. 12 iPhone X's to sell. You know, these phones, you know, at the time, especially when you know, the unlock, before the unlock, Stuff, stuff was going out as far as Verizon lock, policy and all that. Before that, these X's were selling like hotcakes. The sealed, I was getting a bunch of sealed. I had some guys, some suppliers who would supply me with these a lot, and I still get them occasionally, even with the new release announced. I still get these phones. Again, I have a ton of these phones left. I have a ton of boxes stacked up. I wish I could show you guys. Ton of boxes stacked up for this iPhone X. And just because this is the newest phone, people went out to get the newest phone. They did not make a good financial decision, which is good on our part because we can get these phones for cheap, and these phones were not paid off. Pretty much every iPhone X that I bought was not paid off. I haven't, I don't think I remember even putting an AT&T iPhone X into the unlock portal, the device unlock portal, and getting it unlocked through that. Every phone that I bought, pretty much every phone that I bought was not paid off. I got a couple from, Apple Direct as far as the unlock. They were just SIM unlocked. But for the most part, I was getting these as bad IMEI. I sold a bunch to my buyer. Just a phone. It's just the newest phone out. So the newest phone being #1 is shouldn't be as surprising to you guys, but it's a good phone to sell. Keep selling this phone. The value of this phone has went down a good amount, and I guess that has to do with the release. But I also noticed that people are driving this price down themselves. Everybody's looking for a quick sale, so they're gonna undercut the lowest by $10, and then it's just a cycle, or they just keep undercutting. So I just sold an iPhone X AT&T for $620. So that's not much as far as what they were selling for last month. I could have got an easy $7 for them last month, but it is what it is. But at the same time, that's a good advantage for you. This is a good phone to leverage right now because you can go ahead and say, well, this is the newest phone out now, but the new iPhone X's are going to be released and the price is dropping, which it is, guys. The price is dropping, but you can also use that to make a pretty low offer for them, and most likely you'll pick them up. So just going back again, I was buying a lot of these. A lot of them were sealed. A lot of them were open box. I rarely get them without the box. A lot of people still have the box. I was buying them on Mercari for a while. I was getting them in, people were saying, hey, I have 3 iPhone X's for sale, all sealed, all ready to go. Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile. I'll buy them like crazy. So iPhone X is by far the best phone to flip for me in 2018. Again, some of you guys aren't going to, believe in this list, but this is just a list that I've created based off of my experience. I've asked a couple other flippers what they felt were the best phones to flip, and a lot of them said iPhone X 7 Plus were at the top of the list. So hopefully you guys can take this list, get something out of it. I just wanted to give you guys this fun little video to let you guys know that although these new releases are coming out, these phones are still holding value pretty well. They're still good phones to flip, and a lot of these phones you can leverage by getting lower prices by mentioning to people that these new releases are coming out, or that this phone is old, and there's like 7 generations newer than this particular model. That's what I do for the iPhone 6. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like. New to my channel, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.